So I listened to a video yesterday. His name is I'm seeing on my phone, Henry P. Costa. Of course, as most of you know, and those who don't know, you find out today. A Liberian, of course. I'm sure you can hear the accent. But I just relocated from the U.S. after over 30 years. I just came home a few months ago. So of course, whatever happens in politics may or may not affect me, depending on my mindset and what I came for. However, this Henry P. Costa, apparently I've heard of him off and on, but I never really followed him. But apparently he has a large following on social media, maybe in Liberia as well. And it looks like from the message he did a day ago that he used to be an enemy of the current regime, which is George Weah. Now, I don't have a bone to pick in this fight. I don't have a fish to fry in this. I don't have a dog in this, whatever the phrase is. I don't really have much because I just got on ground. So I'm not really too familiar with all the political parties and who's up and who's down and who's right and who's wrong. But I'm just speaking as a newcomer, non-biased, from outside looking in. So I'm just going to give my opinion on both sides. You can agree or disagree. So I'm not taking sides because I wasn't able to vote, even though we have dual citizenship, which I have. But when I came, it was too late to register and to vote. But I'm just giving my opinion from an outsider coming in and unbiased. Now, Mr. Henry P. Costa made a video yesterday after his years and years of bashing George Weah and saying how all manners of wicked things, how George Weah is wicked, is evil, is this. He has receipts and documents to prove and to back up his claims about George Weah being a really bad president. Like I said, I don't know. I cannot confirm and deny it because I just came in. And I'm not here to take side, but I'm here to give you my point of view from both sides. Excuse me. Well, first of all, before he started his message, he said he listened to some kind of Kanye West video to hype him up. Well, we know Kanye West and their kinds, they are from Hollywood, so we know what kind of spirit operates in Hollywood. If you don't know, do your research. Nothing that Hollywood produces gives glory to God. Everything that Hollywood produces is hatched in hell, birthed at the throes of iniquities. Yet people who call themselves Christians or godly people, they find those mess and trash entertaining. So if you listen to Kanye West to hype him up, we know what kind of spirit, first of all, that's going to speak through him and manifest through him. First of all, it's like if a pastor listen to gospel music before he get on stage to hype him up, we know what kind of spirit will operate through the pastor. Same thing. The spirit realm is very real, no matter what side you on. So you listen to some Hollywood demonically inspired music to hype you up to give a speech. We know what kind of spirit is speaking through you and manifesting through you, or influencing your speech or your thoughts or your emotions or your sentiments. Now, that's my first point. My second point, I want you to listen to him before I skip my point.
We did not imagine that we would ultimately arrive at this juncture where we would consider endorsing President Weah, but ultimately circumstances inspired that decision. I want to thank our political leader.
First of all, I'd like to know what circumstances inspired his decision to flip from years and years of being an arch enemy of George Weah. All of a sudden now, circumstances inspired his decision to not be on the side of George Weah. We like to know what kind of circumstances, because if you call yourself a public speaker and you have a large platform and you can influence people's decision one way or the other, the people have the right, the public and your followers have the right to know what circumstances inspired your decision to flip. Your people, you can just say circumstances. What circumstances? You had a meeting with him, you're one that met in the table publicly or privately, and he promised you. I'm just giving an idea. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying what are the circumstances that maybe he promised you some kind of high position when he gets there in the second term, or he promised to hand the presidency over to you after his second term if he makes it in the second term. What are these circumstances that cause Henry P. Costa to flip from being an arch enemy of George Weah to not becoming a supporter? People have to ask questions. You can't just come and make a emotionally sentimental video all riled up and hyped up from the demonic spirit that you listen to called Kanye West. You hype it up and then you come and tell us, oh, circumstances. Don't come give your people just vague information. When you was talking down about George Weah and about to talk down about Joseph Boakai, you didn't just give vague, you gave specific instances and situation. You gave specific details about the circumstances concerning George Weah when you didn't like him. Now you're about to give specific details, information about why you are not supporting Joseph Boakai. So don't give us any kind of vague. We're not stupid. Your people who follow you, they are very intelligent, intellectual people. They are critical thinkers. They think logically and critically, and you don't just come and throw some kind of words, or circumstances. What circumstances? We like to know. Inquiring minds needs to know. Listen.
Honorable Dr. Dagnet Worjloh for his leadership and his steadfastness in bringing us to this point. I want to thank, in a very particular way, my dear, darling, beloved sister, Talia Ure, for leading on organizing yesterday's monumentally successful event to endorse President Weah. I want to also point out that President Weah, you had me having fuzzy feelings on the inside yesterday when you did something very moving, profoundly touching and moving, when you called up Talia on the stage, on the platform, and you hugged her. I could have cried. In fact, I was fighting back the tears. Really? I'm a very sentimental, very emotional guy. Just so
you are very sentimental.
I'm tough, roaring like a lion, but I'm also very sentimental.
You see, he told on himself. He's very sentimental and emotional. And maybe because George Weah knows that you guys are sentimental and emotional, so he played on your emotions and your sentiments by that gesture. So he hugged her on stage. So what now? Okay. What if that's just a game he's playing? You don't even know, because when it comes to politics, people will do anything, say anything, and play any kind of role just to get what they want. Finish. Maybe if he knows that with that gesture of hugging her on stage, it will sway your mind to come on his side. He was right, and he played you. He played a hand, and you play right into it. Mr. Emotional, Sentimental Henry P. Costa. We're going to continue to listen to you, sir.
Mental guy. 3,400 views and climbing. Yes. All right, good. So yesterday's event was beautiful. The first major political gathering since the runoff was officially declared open. And I just want to say something to you, Seditians, and to all the folks there, all the love, and all our ALP people who came out there. Thousands of them yesterday were packed. That headquarters, our headquarters yesterday, to do that ceremony that we did yesterday. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for coming out. I want to thank you for believing in us, believing in our leadership.
He needs to get to the message. All this rambling on incoherent. Anybody interested in all of that?
Folks, what do I want to say today? Why have I called you here? For a number of reasons. One of which, as I said, I began with, is just thank you all for the beautiful show and beautiful ceremony we had yesterday. Our party, 4,000 views now and climbing. Our party did not endorse President Weah because we believe that his first term was, that he waved the magic wand and there were bridges and roads. We did not believe, we did not do so because we believe that everything he set out to do, he did in the first term. That's not why. We did that because we believe, like any man, he deserves to have a second chance to continue to build upon that which he's done, that which he's doing, and that which he wants to do, and to make amends for that which should have been done differently, for the mistakes that were made.
So his first justification is that George Weah hugged the woman on the stage, Talia Ure. I'm getting to know all these people because I just got home. It was so emotional, so moving heart. Okay, I just told you what happened. He got played. The second reason why he became a George Weah fan, he flipping, is because everybody deserves a second chance. Says who? Like, everybody deserves it. Who said that? Those statements when people say people deserve a second chance, not depending on the state of a whole nation, on the generation of a whole group of people, or a whole country. You can't just, because if a leader is really bad at their first term, I'm not saying that's who George Weah is, and I'm not saying that's who he's not. I don't know this whole story. I just got here. I'm hearing both sides, so I can't pick a side because I don't know who's what. But I'm just speaking, as a blogger, influencer, you got to give your opinion. And you cannot hate me for my opinion, just like I cannot hate you, but I can dissect. I'm dissecting his his video here. If somebody deserves a second chance, that statement is, let's say somebody steal, or a prisoner who did something wrong, he went to prison and he got let out of prison, he did his time and he's changed and he became a transformed man or woman. Yes, you can probably give them a second chance, but sometimes you give them a second chance slowly until they have proof that they are worthy again of your trust. This man, according to the people on ground, since I came on ground in 6 years, he has done nothing that is worthy of presidency. This is what I've heard, some of the things I've seen. If it's true what they say, yes. So how you gonna say everybody deserves a second chance? Why? Who said that? Because you saying it? Let's listen.
That can, and I believe will and ought to be corrected. Those were the fundamental reasons why we were moved to make the decision we made, which was culminated in the form of a beautiful, splendid, wondrous event yesterday at the headquarters of the All Liberian Party. 4,500 views in Ghana.
My friend gets the message.
I just want to say this. God, who made us.
Now he's bringing God into it.
The Alpha and the Omega.
He's bringing God into his message. But earlier, if you go back and watch that video, earlier, he said he listened to someone on Kanye West's music to hype him up. Yes, I know some people say Kanye saved, he ain't saved. Go search for yourself. We're not here to debate Kanye's salvation. But if you're still part of Hollywood, we know what influences people to write music in Hollywood. Now he's bringing God. Listen, we're going to pray and bringing God into the message. But when he finished praying and bringing God, you'll see the spirit of arrogance, pride, and boastfulness. He has no humility, the way he talks. Something that you especially when you have helped somebody in private and in secret, you help them with anything and for any reason. You don't come and make a video that I help you to do this, I help you with that, I gave you money for this, I supported you, I pay your light bill, I took you to the hospital, I pay your hospital. That's not the spirit of love. That's not the spirit of humility. That's not the spirit of somebody who even knows God. You don't something you and somebody have done in private. Now because of a conversation you have had, because you're no longer friends, now you're going to spill everything. Then you lack integrity. A person with no integrity will do those kind of things. Not because you're no longer friends with somebody or you no longer support them. So everything you're discussed in private and every help you gave them in the past, now it will become a public affair, a public matter. Somebody else will do the same thing to you. It's called sowing and reaping. You don't do that. If you're a mature, responsible person, you have integrity, not everything you go put to the public because you're no longer friends with that person. That's not wisdom, and that's something you say. Boaka has a heart. A heart is cold. Yourself, you're exposing your own heart. The way you're talking about an old man named Boaka that you did things for him because you're no longer friends with him. Now you're exposing. You tell him all the things you did to him and did for him, and all the things, the conversation you had in private, you bring it to public light. You're exposing your own heart, Henry P. Costa. And just like they said, if you're pointing one finger at somebody, you're pointing one finger at Boaka. But four fingers pointing right back at you. So you're accusing Boaka of having a cold heart and a wicked heart. But guess what? As you are pointing that finger, four is pointing back at you. So you're exposing, and by your own words, your own video, now you're exposing your own heart and your own mindset to the whole public.
For those of you who do not know what those Latin words mean, the beginning and the end.
Whatever.
There's only one thing God wants from us. One quintessential reason why God made man. God made man in his own image so that man may worship him.
So we're in the sermon now.
So that man may sing praises to him. They say when praises go up, blessings come down. And so, my dear beloved brothers and sisters of the beautiful Islamic religion, I'm sure there is also a similar passage there talking about God.
Let me sip my coffee.
Seeking glory and praises from those whom he made in his own likeness and his own image. And so God being a God who wants us to praise him and worship him and sing glory unto him so that more blessings may come down.
This is all nonsense. Let's get it.
When we lift you up, when we pick you up from the gutter, in a very literal sense, we expect that you too, we too deserve to be thanked and appreciated and honored for that which we did. We entered into a marriage with you in the Unity Party, a political marriage. We discounted, we completely ignored our own political interests, and we followed you. We resurrected you. That's a word. And there is nobody in the Unity Party that can argue with a straight face that we in the All Liberian Party, an extension of which is the Costa, that we did not invest in resuscitating your then moribund, dead political career. We did not. Because we believed you were treated badly by Ellen. But later we will come to find out that you are the one who really treated Ellen badly. Joe Boaka is not a good human being. I will show you some evidence of that today. Hardcore, indisputable, irrefutable evidence of the ingratitude, the inherent and patent ingratitude of the man called Joe Boaka. I know
all this thing he's spewing out and spitting out, he said the same thing about George Weah for years. So how anybody going to listen to someone like who's ranting on incoherently, throwing out a whole lot of words? I don't know who he's trying to impress. My friend, just speak simple English. Nobody impressed. You're not in a debate forum where you have to, or a spelling bee contest where you have to impress each other. How many words he knows, how many words he can spit out, how many words with 4 or 5 syllables. Anybody interested, just speak out and speak from your heart. But you're just here to impress. I don't know who you're trying to impress. Anybody impressed by what you got to say. But what I was, before I digress, the same thing he's spewing out about Joseph Boaka, he spewed the same thing out and more about George Weah over the years. Now, due to circumstances, he has flipped. We want to know the circumstances of me. I'm just concerned about what is these circumstances. Don't come here with a lot of noise in my ears, I beg.
No wonder why Ellen chose to not support this man. He is prejudiced. He has a bitter black heart. He hates people. He keeps grudges. He's a malicious, devious, cunning, pretentious, appearing to be benign and all humble.
Why do Africans, Liberians, but mostly Africans, especially if they have been abroad or they spend a few years abroad or even were educated abroad, when they come to make a video or they want to give a speech, they can't just speak simple English? I don't like is you're in a debate contest or you're trying to impress. I don't get this. Myself can speak those words if I want to, but for what? When people are insecure about their own intelligence and their IQ, they will go speak and give all those words because you know you Africans too, especially those who are not educated. They will eat those words up because those in their mind they think they are educated. You yourself can go pick up a dictionary and a thesaurus, look up those words, look up the meaning, learn the right pronunciation, and begin to utter them out in your speeches. Doesn't mean you're smart. Doesn't mean you know what you're talking about. You see? It's just shallow intelligence. It's just shallow, superficial. I beg, man. Get to the point.
And all of that is a facade. But beneath the facade is an evil, hateful, prejudiced, wicked old man. Ungrateful to the core. He is the walking human epitome of ingratitude.
So Boaka is the epitome of ingratitude. You who being a friend of Boaka all these years, supporter, all of a sudden because of circumstances, you have flipped on him. Now everything you and him did in private, you're making it a public affair. But he the one with a cold heart. You don't see how you're exposing your own heart.
I called you Rescue One. Do you think I really believe that at 80 years old you would be able to rescue this country?
You see, listen.
We embellished it. You know, when you are a sales representative, when you are a salesperson, you're selling a commodity or a product, your job is to embellish that product. It's a fancy woman can say or fish or bone ratting.
Did you guys listen with your ears? He was selling to us that Joseph Boaka is Rescue One, to rescue Liberia, right? From, of course, George Weah. That was the campaign Henry Costa and many people were using. But you hear what he said? He embellished. You know what embellish means? He exaggerated. He lied. So he knew full well in his heart that that old man was incapable of rescuing this nation. but he put his vote behind him. So what does that say about you, Henry Costa? That you are willing to lie and embellish and exaggerate the truth for power. Because more than likely, when that old man get into office, he probably promised you something. And maybe you didn't get what he promised you, or there are rumors going around that the position he promised you, maybe he gave it to somebody else, or he has given it to somebody else. So now you are vexed. And you're all over social media now, ranting and raving and incoherently releasing your 4-5 syllable words to impress God knows who. But he just told the truth. That it was all an embellishment. It was all an exaggeration. It was all a lie. He's a very good salesman. He just told you. The fancy woman will never tell you her fish is rotting. So that means the fancy woman know her fish is rotting, but she will sell you a rotten fish. Knowing for what is rotting, but she won't tell you, and you will buy a fish thinking you're buying a good fish. So what he just told you, and he just exposed himself, that he knew full well this old man was incapable of being president, but he lied to you. Why? What were his motives and his intention and why he lied? So now if he lied then, how do we know he's not lying now? He wants us not to believe him. He wants us to believe that he's telling the truth now when he embellished. You see the man exposing himself? If you think, put aside all his words, all his 4-5 syllable words he's speaking, anybody impressed? At least I'm not. Put those words aside. But listen with your brain and think logically and critically. Is he not exposing himself? He's telling you that he's a very good salesman, that he lied to you guys all these years, that this man was good and capable of rescuing Liberia, only now to come and tell you that he ain't. And he knew that he wasn't capable of running Liberia, but he said it. Why? Because something in it for him. There was something he was going to gain. You're not going to just go and lie about somebody's capability for a presidential position if something wasn't in it for you. And why would you even lie? So he just called himself a liar. He just told you now that he will lie and say anything about any political party or any political candidate or presidential candidate for power. Because why else would you do it? If there's no gain in it for you, why else to do it? So how do we know now he's not embellishing what he's telling us about George Weah? You see? All of you who follow him, you better get on your knees, ask the Lord who is the right person that should be in our office, because this nation must be great. We're not getting no war in this country. No sir, no man.
Did you think I knew, or did you think I mistook you for a rescuer?
Look at that.
An old man who belongs to the dustbin of our history.
You knew that, but yeah, you followed.
With a kid views, a man who cannot even operate a laptop computer.
You knew this.
No, we settled.
No, you settled.
We made a compromise on you.
So just like he settled and made a compromise on Joseph M. Boakai, how do we know and how do you not know that he's also settling and also compromising to flip to Weah? So how do we know? You see now? He's telling you, the man's exposing himself and letting you know what kind of nature and character he is. That he is somebody who's flip-flopping, he's very emotional and sentimental, and he will go put his vote behind anyone who might give him some kind of gain politically. That's all it's about. It's just about his future as a politician. That's all he's doing. There's nothing in it to say we care for the Liberian people. Because why would you push a candidate that you know full well is not capable, whether mentally, physically, emotionally, health-wise? You know that. And then you embellish the truth. You just said it. You said, you think I didn't know that an 80-year-old man cannot run this nation? I knew that. But I embellished it. And I settled and I compromised. A fancy woman will never sell you a fish and say your fish is rotten. Listen to the man's own words. He's telling you what the definition of a politician is. He just told you. They're a bunch of liars and deceivers. They will embellish, they will exaggerate, and they will sell you anything as long as you're dumb and gullible enough to buy it without thinking logically, critically, or questioning them. You see? You know what the word politics means, right? You don't know? Go look it up. Poly means many. Ticks means bloodsuckers. That's why politicians across the world, that's what they have been doing to humanity. Sucking our blood or sucking your blood.
That's what we did. We settled. We compromised. And we believed you were a good man and we were sympathetic towards you. We in All Liberian Party.
You see that?
And after we sold you and touted you about and projected you as though you could rescue this country, and we called you Rescue One.
Full of emotions and sentiments.
How could you rescue the country when you could not even rescue your own finances? 12 years as vice president, we had to be begging for money all over the place, raising money to sustain you.
That's something you never do or never say. If you ever help somebody, you don't go to the public and tell it. You don't. That's humiliating, that's degrading, and that's also show your heart and your character as a human being. My friend Costa, you're a young male, you're in your 40s, I think, right? And you're just coming up in life and in politics. Don't do what you're doing. So there's no other person around you to advise you. Say, okay, you may be upset, you want to say something, but there's some things you don't take to public. If you ever help somebody, you don't go to the public and brag about it. You don't know what tomorrow holds for you. The God that we serve, he knows how to humble people. Young man, be careful. The God that we serve, he knows how to humble people.
People who have bought into this hype which we created, hype which we are sucking the life out of now.
He created, now he's sucking the life out of it.
We will suck the life out of you.
See the arrogance and the pride.
Knock the wind out of your sail. The wind we put in your sail, we'll take it back.
You see the arrogance, the pride, and the boastfulness? Talking about you give somebody life, you put a wind in their sail, you will knock it out, you will suck it out, you will suck the life out of them. Are you God? You see the arrogance that he's displaying, the pride. There's no humility, there's no love, there's no respect, there's no honor, there's no dignity. And this is the man that you're going to listen to his advice and flip. Think, is that something you would do? You have power to give somebody life. You have power to even sustain a life in your body. That you can go to bed tomorrow and don't wake up if God decides to. And you think that you are God now. Are you playing God for somebody else's political career? And you say you will knock the wind out of the sail and you will suck the life out of them because you are God. You give life to them and their career and you can suck it out. You see? Listen when people talk, they're telling you who they are. Sometimes you don't need discernment. You don't need prophet. You don't need apostle. You don't need revelation. You just need to listen. Listen carefully and people will tell you who they really are and what they really stand for. If you listen. Listen.
How dare you call us insignificant when you were in political nobody after 2017 and we resurrected that dead political carcass of yours.
Carcass. Dead
You
body.
show us ingratitude and wickedness. Where are our falling out with George? We are. We did. Fundamental. The issues about which we disagree with George we are still issues that we're concerned about.
But he's willing to overlook those issues because I'm sure he has been promised something or given something. Allegedly. I'm just giving my opinion. Nobody can say nothing about people's opinion. Hello. I'm a vlogger. That's what we do. Thank you very much.
But we're not here to give you power so that you turn it over to Jeremiah Queen and Prince Johnson. Jeremiah Queen is a Liberian citizen. If he wishes to run for president, it is his right to run for president. But to hide behind you, he and his warlord, his mass murdering, lunatical, deranged, unstable warlord godfather. We're not going to give the country to a warlord. Everybody used Prince Johnson in this country. Ellen used him to come to power. George Weah used him too. But neither Ellen nor Weah brought Prince Johnson this close as you, Joe Boakai, have brought him. The thing in itself, the proximity, which
This man just rambles.
the Americans are concerned, so are the Europeans and all of our international partners, ECOWAS.
Hold on. He said the Americans are concerned and the Europeans. This is the man who wants to have a political career, and I'm sure eventually he wants to be president. I'm sure that's why he's making all this noise all over social media and people can't hear their ears. He just mentioned the Americans and the Europeans are upset. Does he not know who the true enemies of Liberia and Africa is? Has he not done proper study and research and know that Africa, Liberia, Africa, and many of the nations they call third world nation are in the condition because America and European nation put them in it? He doesn't know that. And this is the man who running for office or has a career or wants to be a future leader in Liberia, and he doesn't even know the true enemies of Africa. Does he not see what's going on in Niger, Burkina Faso, and Gabon? Those young military leaders who are rising up and pushing out the colonizer. And here it is one praising the colonizer, talking about they ain't happy. Who cares what they think? Don't they have their own mess to deal with in their own country? Can they stay out of our business? Can we run our country? Can they leave us alone? You see the problem? This man is just rambling on. He doesn't even know who Africa or Liberia's true enemies are. You should take some notes, from Gabon, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Look at those guys rising up and pushing out the colonizer and taking back their country, taking back their natural resources. And here this one talking about America ain't happy and the European ain't happy. Who cares if they are happy? Do they care about your happy? Isn't they care for you? I always tell people, watch the news. Whatever the American mainstream media, Western news say, flip it the opposite, you got the truth. Whoever they make the villain, flip it the opposite. Whoever they make the victim, flip it the opposite. Whoever they make the victim, the villain, the hero, flip it the opposite. Whoever they're standing with, flip it the opposite. Whoever they're standing against, flip it, you got the truth. Just flip it the opposite, you got the truth. And here this one here wants to be president, possibly in Liberia, and he doesn't even know who Africa's enemies are. And he's here talking about praising the America is not happy, Europe is not happy with Joseph Boakai being president of Liberia. You see? You see the problem? He's clueless. I hope you'll go do some research. I hope you'll find out. Unless he knows and he doesn't care because he's hungry for power and attention and influence and affluence. Maybe. Talking about the American government and Europe.
They know the antecedents, the history of Prince Johnson. The Americans are concerned. So are the Europeans and all of our international partners.
They're concerned. You nobody care what America and Europe think of Africa.
They know the antecedents.
We know what they have done to Africa. Sadly, you don't know, sir.
And you, Unity Party people, speak of integrity. This same Prince Johnson was calling Joe Boakai a battery total.
You mean talking about integrity?
People talking about we're supporting where because we're paid. When we supported your broke self, Joe Boakai, and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for you over the years to sustain you.
Thank you.
Did you pay us? When I terminated my $60,000, my $40,000 a year contract with Daniel Cassell for doing basically nothing but posting a few things. Did you pay me for terminating my $40,000 a year contract with Daniel Cassell? Did you pay any gift to resuscitate what was a dead political career?
You hear that? Arrogance.
And now because we no longer support you because of the way you behave to us and you dare question our integrity, be the man that you be talking about behind a sick 80-year-old man whom I took to the hospital, paid his medical bill, and doctor said he needs a surgery, and he's talking about he wants to take power, get inaugurated, leave Coon in power, and then go to do surgery. Only God knows whether he's going to return.
But you knew this now. You still were pushing it. So what does that say about you?
You want to talk about integrity?
Yeah, we're talking about integrity.
You Alex style of corruption, King Kong?
So he knew about this man's ill health. He knew about this man's ill health and all the things he's talking, he knew about this. But yeah, he was pushing the man, exaggerating, embellishing, and trying to convince you that that man is rescue one for Liberia. You see, the man just exposing himself. You see now? You see? So you knew all of this, and yet you were pushing him. Why? What ulterior motives that drove you to push a man that you yourself now knew full well he was incapable of the position he's running for? What does that say about you? You talk about integrity. What does that say about you, Henry Costa? What does that say about you, sir? I don't know you from nowhere. I've seen you pop on YouTube and social media off and on, but I don't follow you guys. Because to me, you guys are a bunch of noise makers. Because we can point finger at every politician and find faults and flaws in them. And yes, they have faults and they have flaws. But our leaders, if we are honest, if we become brutally and sincerely honest with ourselves, when I say we, I'm including you, me, all of us. So because when I say we, don't take offense and say, whenever somebody uses the word we, they are including themselves in that conversation or in that statement. If we are brutally and sincerely honest, our leaders in Liberia and the continent of Africa are merely reflecting back to us who we are in our private lives. If we'll be honest and be truthful. You calling the politician and the presidents and whoever corrupt. They may very well be corrupt. But one corrupt man calling another man corrupt. You got a wife, a side chick, and a baby mama, but you see the president is corrupt. Who's corrupt? Are you both not corrupt? Or do you see the president is corrupt? You stealing power. You stealing water. Are you not corrupt? You see? The professors in the universities or the high school or the teachers in the high school force the young girls that before they can give them passing grades, you got to sleep with them. But I've seen professors be all over social media going for a TV interview and saying the president is corrupt. Are you not corrupt? You see? You have a business, you're cheating your clients and your customers. Are you not corrupt? You the young lady, you seducing the person, you're sleeping with your teacher or your professor for a passing grade to get a piece of paper that you cannot even spell your name backwards. Are you two not corrupt? You got a girlfriend, but you got 4 or 5 different girlfriends. You're lying to each of them, and you're giving them all kinds of whatever sweet talks or lies. Are you not corrupt? Africa does not have a political, economic, or social problem. Africa have a heart problem. A heart lacking love for herself and for each other. If we begin to love ourselves and love each other, we can make this continent, this country great without the help of any politician. But until we begin to change individually, we're going to be making noise forever. Oh, the government. Oh, the government should do this. Liberia, Africa, and the world, they've been having government from inception. So if government could solve the world's problem, it would have been solved. The government cannot solve the problem because the government is the problem. I hope we think about this. How we begin to treat each other. I just came when people eat something or drink something in Liberia, they just trash it. They don't think. Look for a trash can. What is it you find? They just drop it. You driving down the street, you see grown men lined up, pissing in the street, in the public, in the city. They line up and they're peeing. It's the strangest things I've ever seen. It blows my mind. I have to readjust my mind when I'm coming back home after 30-something years. It's like a strange foreign. I'm like, what? Are these people okay? Do they not get it? Is this normal? It's normal to them. The city, the country is filthy. And that physical dirt is a metaphor or is symbolic of the filthiness of our behavior, our attitude, our ways, our heart, our mind, our thinking towards ourselves and towards each other. It's just a metaphor or a symbolism or symbol representing how filthy and dirty our ways and our attitude are towards ourselves, towards each other, towards our own country. You say you love Liberia. You finish eating, you put the trash. Is that how you treat someone or something that you love? You trash it? The same people who go to America, they will follow the laws and the protocols and the rules in America. As soon as they land here, all the rules and regulations goes out of their head. But it's, oh, we love Liberia, mama this, that my LIB. That's how you treat someone or something you love. You trash it all over the place. Then you go back to America and say, that country is dirty, it's filthy. When some of us want to come back home to build our country, oh, don't go back. They will lie to you, they will cheat, they will steal, they will do this, they will frustrate you, you'll run back home. You see? Our heart. And this young man, I don't want to play too much of his video, but you can go to, I'll put a link to the original video there. Because of copyright issue, I will just go ahead and stop. But he said something to what I wanted to listen to the part what he said, but you can listen to the video yourself. He said, you think I'm going to give you Liberia? I'm going to hand Liberia over to you? That's the one that struck me. I said, what do you mean? You think I will give you Liberia? Give you Liberia? So do you own Liberia? Are you the owner of Liberia? Are you God? I mean, the way this young man speak with such boastfulness and arrogance and pride, no humility, no love, no respect. I will not give you Liberia. You don't own Liberia. You're not God. You did not create Liberia. The Liberian people do not look to you. You're not their God. You don't take care of the people in Liberia. Do you feed them? Do you clothe them? Even if you did, you will come to social media and tell, I fed you people, I took care of you. Just like you telling the whole world that you fed Boaka, you took care of him, he paid his hospital bill. If you ever become president, he will tell the whole world, oh, I fed you people, man, I took care of you people, I gave you this, isn't it? It's only a matter of time for somebody else to come back and tell what they did for him in private, as soon as they fall out. You see? I can't give you Liberia. My friend, you don't own Liberia. Liberia doesn't belong to you. You are not God. You don't own us. This is a whole country. How can you say you think I will give you like? What power do you think? What possess you? What audacity that make you think that you can make that statement? I will not give you Liberia. Do you own it? What's going on behind the scene? What kind of conversation you guys are having behind the scene to make you feel so prideful, so confidently and boldly profess, I will not give Liberia to you? Abuaka he talking to. What in you to make you think I will not give? You own Liberia? You own Liberians? You are our God now, you're the Lord of the land? Anyway, this is your girl Dagnet. Please make sure you share, subscribe, and leave your comment below. And like I said in the beginning, I don't have a bone to pick in this fight, but I just want to dissect his statement because he right there exposed himself that he's a man that cannot be trusted. Because when the card is stacked in his favor, he will flip. When it's not, he will flip back. That's what I look. I don't know him personally, so this is not a personal attack on him. But based on the video, I just want to dissect that. You listen to what he's saying. So Africa, we want to make Africa great. We want to make Liberia great. Let's touch our heart towards ourselves, towards each other. I didn't say I was perfect. I myself do my own work in private. Do your own. And let's come together. If we put our heads together, our hearts, our resources, our talents, our gifts, even our anointing, we can make Liberia and the continent of Africa great. Stop looking to politicians and leaders. We've been having leaders and politicians from inception. Look at the country. Liberia is the oldest independent nation in Africa. July 26, 1847. Is that 176 years? Liberia is the oldest independent nation. Look how we are functioning. We are functioning like we did 200, like we are 200 years behind. The country is too old to be functioning like this and too rich to be this poor. Really. Ordinary, simple, basic things like light, constant electricity, and constant running water, they don't have it. That's the bare basic. And with all this noise you guys are making on social media, you don't even address that issue. Before we even go to the road, let's go to the basic, because you don't really need road to survive. But you need water, we need electricity. Isn't it? Basic. I've been here now. We haven't had water for almost 4 weeks. I think it's going on 4 weeks. From the faucet. We have a well in the compound where I live, the apartment complex. But the well water is not even treated. So what do? I have to boil it. Anyway, I'm not going to go into detail. But the point is, all your noise you're making, please somebody give me some steady current running electricity and some good clean running water and some kind of good steady and affordable internet package, and then we'll do the road business. That's all I care for. So whoever's getting to office, fix this light problem and fix it permanently. And when you find people stealing power, please lock them up, because it's not fair to the rest of us who got to pay and watching them to steal power. It's not correct. It's not fair. It's not right. I don't like it. They wouldn't like it too if they were paying and somebody was stealing. They didn't say we have an issue, but they're stealing power. But all they're talking about, the president corrupt, the country is corrupt, the country will never develop. How will it develop when you're stealing power? You getting it? It's like you're talking in your head, not connecting. There's something in your mind, not connecting. Your mind. Anyway, bless you. I'm done.